Tuesday, April 15th. Hopefully you've all paid your orange taxes. Let's see, 3 days left to buy tickets. English essay tomorrow. Throwback shirt 2019. Schedule again for today is where you're going to go to second period after this, and then there are all of your classes end with a 7, except for 7th period because that's where your 7 is.
Yes, only 20 minutes of math.
Don't worry, I have a plan for tomorrow. But he's not the only one moving.
Me?
So, back to reading Outsiders. We'll see if we can get a little bit further. Ooh, I think I have a different show and tell item for you guys today. After we did yesterday's show and tell item.
Did you buy tobacco like I told you?
I did not need to. I had my own supply. No, I did not bring tobacco.
I'm gonna get some tobacco for you.
So we got past Paul Newman. Then we got past our greaser people. How do we pronounce that? Who was in the red Corvair?
The socials.
My popular kids.
Actually, the socials.
The Socias and apparently Micah.
Kill.
I brought in.
No, don't stab me with it again. Kill.
Again?
So
Pickle.
here's the one from up there. I have several. I just grabbed one. Yeah, because I hate pickles. I had a student.
You go outside and pop it open.
I don't need to go outside. I can just do it right.
Can you get over my?
Oh, I know. In case I know, I see the booty. She comes at me again. We can just take her. So again, this would be the bottle they're talking about with
That's what they did with.
Can I drink it so then you can go smash?
Wait, what if somebody accidentally like crashed it somewhere?
No, that's cold. Is that just pickle juice in there?
No idea.
Just dump it out.
Flavored soda.
Ew.
I feel the same way.
would drink it. Sell it. It's probably gonna go for it. Gladly drink it.
Who's wearing the madras?
My popular kids.
Hey, that was the
You've not got the cow.
The freezer.
There you go.
Wait, what is it called?
The greasers. That is alfalfa.
I can do that guy right there.
So they're going to talk about a little cowlick that Derek has. He's the most famous one that people seem to know with the cowlick.
Alfalfa!
Good job. From you guys know the show?
Yes!
Little Rascals!
Oh,
I love Little
But
Rascals!
it can also be something where you just have hair that sticks up. It's not always like sometimes you just have hair that you can't comb down. Alright. We stopped on page 6. Hi. No, that's a mohawk. We're about halfway down where it says, we'll back up a little bit. I'm okay, quit shaking me. I'm okay, quit shaking me. Gary, I'm okay. He stopped instantly. I'm sorry. He wasn't really. Derry isn't ever sorry for anything he does. It seems funny to me that he should look just exactly like my father and act exactly the opposite from him. My father was only 40 when he died, and he looked 25. And a lot of people thought Derry and Dad were brothers instead of father and son. But they only looked alike. My father was never rough with anyone without meaning to be. Now my brother Derry, he's 6'2", broad-shouldered, muscular. He has dark brown hair that kicks out in front and a slight cowlick in the back. Cowlick like that. Just like Dad's, but Derry's eyes are his own. He's got eyes that are like 2 pieces of pale blue-green ice. They've got a determined set to them, like the rest of them. He looks older than 20. Tough, cool, smart. He'd be real handsome if his eyes weren't so cold. He doesn't understand anything that is not plain, hard fact. But he uses his head. I sat down again, rubbing my cheek where I've been slugged the most. Oh, so they're going to have different brain rot words than the brain rot words you guys are used to with the slang. So when it says where he'd been slugged, they don't...
punch.
Yeah.
Mug.
I had kids who, yeah, it doesn't mean like the little bugs, but slugged mean like punch. They're going to have a few other... They're going to talk about the fact that his skin is smarting in red. So you don't know what smarting means?
It's getting black like a black eye.
Not bad, I guess.
It's falling off.
It's like a... like a stinging sensation. Like if I were to take my hand and walk up to Babooty and just slap her across the face,
Then I would yell.
then all of a sudden she'd be like, "Ah," and that little stinging sensation, you would say that's smarting. Whereas if I just took a fist and like punched her in the stomach, that's not smarting as much. So when they say smarting, that's what they're talking
Booty would
about.
have reacted.
Oh, really? And they're also going to say that he's bawling and not
Crying.
not bawling, but
I know I'm bald now. He's balding.
We know you do.
I sat down again, rubbing my cheek where I'd been slugged the most. Derry jammed his fists in his pockets. Well, they didn't hurt you too bad, did they? They did. I mean, I was smarting and aching, and my chest was sore, and I was so nervous. My hands were shaking, and I wanted to start bawling, but you just don't say that to Derry. I'm okay. Soda Pop came loping back. By then, I figured that all the noise I'd heard was the gang coming to rescue me. He dropped down beside me, examining my head. You got cut up a little, huh, pony boy? I looked at him blankly. What? I did? He pulled out a handkerchief and wet the end of it with his tongue and pressed it gently against the side of my head. You're bleeding like a stuck pig. I am? Look! He showed me the handkerchief, reddened as if by magic. Did they pull a blade on you? I remember the voice. Need a haircut, greaser? The blade must have slipped while he was trying to shut me up. Yeah. Now, Soda? He is handsomer than anyone else I know. Not like Derry. Soda's like movie star kind of handsome. The kind that people stop on the street to watch go by.
Like Apollo.
Now, he's like Apollo, good reference. He's not as tall as Derry. He's a little slimmer, but he has a finely drawn, sensitive face that somehow managed to be reckless and thoughtful at the same time. He's got dark gold hair that he combs back, long, silky, and straight. And in the summer, the sun bleaches it to a shining wheat gold. His eyes are dark brown, lively, dancing, recklessly laughing eyes that can be gentle and sympathetic one moment and blazing with anger the next. He has Dad's eyes, but Soda's one of a kind. He can get drunk in a drag race or dancing without ever getting near alcohol. In our neighborhood, it is rare to find a kid who doesn't drink once in a while, but Soda never touches a drop. He doesn't need to. He gets drunk on just plain living, and he understands everybody. With their description of Soda, when they talk about the whole drinking thing, most of the kids in this book are between 14 and 19, like 20, I guess, with Derry at the oldest, and almost all of them drink in the book and make poor choices. Soda Pop, the older brother, who's sort of like the happy-go-lucky friendly one, when they say that he can get drunk without going near alcohol, it means he's one of the only kids that doesn't drink alcohol at all. But he acts like he does, as in like he's friendly and outgoing and goofy, like when you'd see, well, hopefully you guys don't hang out with drunk people a lot, but the idea that they can be like outgoing and friendly, and Soda Pop just has that natural personality. So that's what they mean by that. He looked at me more closely. I looked away hurriedly, because if you want to know the truth, I was starting to bawl. I knew I was as white as I felt, and I was shaking like a leaf. Soda just put his hand on my shoulder. Easy, pony boy. They ain't gonna hurt you no more. I know, I said, but the ground began to blur. I felt hot tears running down my cheeks. I brushed them away impatiently. I'm just a little spooked, that's all. I drew a quivering breath and quit crying. You just don't cry in front of Derry. Not unless you're hurt like Johnny had been that day we found him in the vacant lot. Compared to Johnny, I wasn't hurt at all. Soda rubbed my hair. You're an okay kid, Pony. I had to grin at her. Soda can make you grin no matter what. And I guess because he's always grinning so much himself. You're crazy, Soda. You're out of your mind. Derry looked as if he'd like to knock our heads together. You're both nuts. Soda merely cocked one eyebrow, a trick he picked up from Two-Bit. Seems to run in this family. So do you guys know what it means to cock an eyebrow?
Raise it. Like raise it.
Not bad.
That's a funny word.
So those of you who know it, It's where you have the one eyebrow that sort of pops up. And, so
It's the rock.
Shut up.
that is the rock.
Doctor Who.
Wow, it is Doctor Who. Go you also. Yeah, back during his wrestling days, when he was wrestling, he would always, this big move was, good job, Mr. Barry. He would say, can you smell what the rock is cooking? And then he would drop an elbow on you. And that was always his face when he would look to the camera. Fun watching kids try to cock an eyebrow. It looks like they're all having a stroke. As I've been reading the book, they're like, watch me, Miss Broviak. And I'm like, nailed it. Definitely should do that in the hallway. But there you go. Drake, nailed it. Sorry.
Wait, do it.
How do you do that?
Oh,
Do it.
he was just wiggling his fingers. It's magic. See, you can wiggle his
I
fingers.
said it on the eyebrow.
Yeah, he was just wiggling
Can you
his
do
fingers.
it?
Not real.
Can you do Mr. Perry?
Mr. Perry can. He'll sass you with it. He'll give you,
Yeah,
he'll give you the people's eyebrow. See? That's why you were blocking him and not me. I know. Wait, I can do it both at the same time. Nailed it. Derry stared at him for a second, then cracked a grin. Soda Pop isn't afraid of him like everyone else and enjoys teasing him. Me? Huh. I'd just as soon tease a full-grown grizzly. But for some reason, Derry seems to like being teased by Soda.
Whoa.
Our gang had chased the Soshas to their car and heaved rocks at them. They came running toward us now. 4 lean, hard guys. They were all as tough as nails and looked at me. And I'd grown up with them. They accepted me, even though I was younger, because I was Derry and Soda's kid brother. I kept my mouth shut good. So they're going to go through this next part and explain. He's going to sort of describe his friends to you. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown again. Main story is being told by Pony Boy. Pony Boy's 14. His older brother Soda Pop, this is the goofy friendly one. He's 16.
And he's 20.
Derry's 20.
Oldest brother's 20. Now, their friends, the way it's going to work out is basically Soda Pop's best friend is Steve. And so like these are the 2 main ones. And then 2-Bit kind of hangs out with them because he's a little bit older. Johnny is also the same age as Soda Pop, but he more hangs out with Pony Boy. And then Dally we're going to get to is just
I thought
this.
that was Steve Dally.
No, 4 different kids. Dally is this really scary guy that they would rather be friends with than be enemies with, so he kind of hangs out with them. So he's going to describe Steve here first.
Is he like
Mr. Broviak.
me when you're not friends with me?
Yes.
Yeah,
They're going to give you a description in a moment. Yeah.
I was gonna say, is Derry and
Dally.
yeah, Dally,
Dilly
are they
Friends-ish, which we'll find out, but yeah.
They're just acquaintances.
We're going to find out not many people are friends with Dally because he kind of goes to violence all the time.
They're just acquaintances.
Now, Steve Randall was 17, tall and lean, with thick, greasy hair that he kept combed in complicated swirls. He was cocky, smart, and Soda's best buddy since grade school. Steve's specialty was cars. He could lift a hubcap quicker and more quietly than anyone in the neighborhood. But he also knew cars upside down and backward, and he could drive anything on wheels. He and Soda worked at the same gas station. Steve part-time and Soda full-time. And their station got more customers than any other one in town. Whether that was because Steve was so good with cars, or because Soda attracted girls like honey draws flies, I couldn't tell
That's a
you.
simile.
Nice to know again.
Are you kidding me?
No, how dare she be smart?
Exactly, like what?
I like Steve only because he was Soda's best friend. He didn't like me. He thought I was a tag-along and a kid. Soda always took me with them whenever they went places, if they weren't taking girls. And that bugged Steve. It wasn't my fault. Soda just always asked me, and I liked him. I don't ask him. Soda doesn't think I'm a kid. So, with Steve, they talk about him lifting hubcaps. Do you guys know what a hubcap is? Part of the car.
Wait, it's the hood. The hood.
Not the hood. Good guess.
The front with the engine and the battery.
Thing on the car. No.
close. I was close.
It's a
Oh, I thought it said
cat.
So literally, the reason it's called
Yeah, nah.
How did that fit in?
It's fake.
magic. The reason it's called a hubcap
I think
is
there?
this was called your wheel hub, and this was literally like a bottle cap when you drink your Mountain Dew.
But that's not real because that's plastic.
So nowadays they're plastic and they're not worth anything, but back in the 60s they were all metal. And if you were an aspiring criminal, this is how you would make money. You would go find a car that had nice looking ones that were metal, not this plastic you can get, by the way.
It's not on
If you're trying to make money now, it'll do you no good. You can get these at $5 below for a set of 4, so they're worth like $1. But back in the day, they were like 10, 15 bucks a piece. So you would go find a car, take a screwdriver, and pop them off. But you had to be quick, because if someone caught you doing it, they would come out and beat you with a baseball bat for robbing them. Steve is really good at it. And the reason it's called lifting a hubcap is the hubcap is on the tire, you bend down, pop it off, and then
Lift it up.
right, it's not real creative. Then you lift it up. Then you'd have your big, trench coat with all these hubcaps hanging in there, and you would try to go sell them to other people. Nowadays, if you're trying to make money, it's not going to do you any good. You can sell this for like a quarter, and people will probably just make
There's
money.
a guy that lives in my neighborhood with a gold one. I thought they were called rims. What, the
Now
gold
they're called rims, and rims, you don't have a thing that goes on it. Rims are the reason we don't have hubcaps anymore is we have rims, which are the really nice ones, and you can't steal those unless you take the whole tire. But back in the day, you would just have a thing that snapped into it. The reason we have rims is people kept getting their hubcaps stolen. So then they said, what if we just build the hubcap into the tire? Now they're harder to steal.
Whoa! Then still the whole tire.
So you say that as a joke?
Yeah, but
In the 90s, when they first came out with rims when I was a kid, that was the thing that would happen.
did it happen to your parents?
People would get robbed at like stoplights, and they would actually come out there with like those little gold things, and they would actually like hold a gun on people and steal their tires. It was crazy. Nowadays, not so much.
Have you ever seen that?
No. See you tomorrow.